I'm going to talk to you about the last straw in a relationship. Oftentimes, something will happen and it will be the catalyst for a breakdown in the relationship. It could be the thing that makes the other person or you say, I want a divorce, or we need to separate, or we need to break up, or I need time apart from you if it's a parent or a child or a sibling or a friend, or I'm going to move. I can't be around you all the time, or I'm only going to see you once in a while, or I need to completely cut this off. Whatever it is, it caused a major problem. This thing happened and it just kind of snowballed into something really big. Because we cannot control the other person and make the other person look at their part in this dynamic that ended up being the last straw for one or both people, we often look at ourselves and we say, oh my gosh, why did I say that? Why did I do that? If only I hadn't said or done blank. And we replay it, we go back, we look at it, we try to figure out what led up to that. And then we start beating ourselves up. We start regretting, we start wishing that we didn't say what we said and we didn't do what we did, and that we could roll the tape back and start over and do something different, because we don't want this to be the last straw. And we will analyze it and analyze it and analyze it and have so many regrets. But what we have to realize, if anything in a relationship causes you to get to the point where this is the last straw, that means that a whole bunch of stuff came before this. This is not the thing that blew up. This is not the thing that caused the crisis. This is only one of many. There have been problems, there have been disagreements, there have been unresolved things, there have been unacceptable behaviors to this point. There have been resentments, there have been blame, there have been overreactions, there have been issues. There have been all kinds of things that have just built and built and built and built and built, or it would not have gotten to this point. You don't have the last straw without having a bunch of stuff come prior to it. So recognize that. You can't blame yourself and beat yourself up for participating in the situation that caused it to be the last straw, when a whole bunch of other stuff came before this. And maybe this is a good thing. You know, we don't like this to happen because it's always a little scary. It's new territory. It's uncomfortable. We can't control it. We can't force it to resolve right away. It may cause a temporary separation. It may cause us to have to both parties in the relationship sit back and think, what do we want? It may cause you to set a boundary in a way that you have not been willing to prior to this. It may cause both of you to take some time out and think and maybe go to therapy separately or together. It may cause there to be a rebalancing of power in the relationship, maybe a shift that needed to happen. Maybe some really hard talks need to occur and you've both been putting it off. Maybe some kind of just like really sit down and let's look at this and let's see what's going on, and let's both get really honest and speak our truth. So there are all kinds of things that could come out of this that are good, but it's uncomfortable, it's scary, it is unfamiliar. You don't want to be there. You never want to be there. But one of the things that we do when we get into that place where it's the last straw is we get scared, we get panicky, and we think with urgency that we have to force a resolution right then and there. We got to make this argument come to a close. We've got to resolve it. We've got to figure out what happened. You're going to try to apologize. You're going to make the other person know that you didn't mean it in the way that you said it, and you're going to panic and try to, maybe you're going to beg that person not to leave, or beg that person to stay in relationship, or shame that person for saying that that person was, wanted a separation or whatever that is. But what you need to realize is sometimes these are really good things that happen in relationships because they cause people to rethink and reset and come back to the table with maybe new awarenesses, maybe new willingness to speak truth, maybe new willingness to look at boundaries, to set boundaries, to adjust boundaries, to look at what has to be done, to maybe value the relationship, and both people to say, this hasn't been good for a while. We need to figure this out if we want this to keep working. So it can be a good place, although it is a scary place. The best thing that you can do is give it some time. Let it go, pray about it, think about it, ask God to show you what direction you need to go, what you need to do, what you need to say. Let the other person have some space to work it out, to think it through, to maybe have their own thought process about this. And I know it's hard when the other person is angry and stubborn and resistant and isn't willing to talk to you about it. But, you know, that's the person that you're in relationship with. That's the person that is the other half of the relationship. That person has to figure it out too. That person has to come to a place of being comfortable or not being comfortable, making their own choices and deciding if they're a willing participant in the relationship and what they're going to bring to the table and what they're willing to change, if anything. And you can't force somebody to be in a relationship with you. And you can't force somebody to continue in the relationship if that person isn't willing. So allow this to be an opportunity, as scary as it is. So James 1:19-20 says, my dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Yeah, so we want to be slow to speak, slow to anger, but when it does blow up, we can pull back and we can do it again. We can slow down, be quick to listen. Okay, we can be slow to speak and we can be slow to anger and give this some time. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. I hope that this has given you a different perspective and that you maybe can apply this if you're going through something right now where you feel like it is the last straw and you've got to get some insight to make some decisions. So I hope you'll check my website out, changemyrelationship.com, for my books, my studies, my classes, and also watch more of my YouTube videos because they're all about difficult relationships. So, all right, thank you for watching this video on Change My Relationship.